After a very pleasant summer break in China, my daughters and I are flying back to Amsterdam today with China Southern Airlines in business class. Last year I flew the same class the other way around from Amsterdam to Guangzhou, but I'm still curious about this flight for 3 reasons. It'll be an entire night flight of nearly 12 hours with continuous darkness. And honestly, I'm not quite sure how well my daughters and I will be able to cope with it. I'm also curious how the catering compares to my last flight, and above all, this will be my daughter's very first business class flight. So plenty of reasons to make a video, and you are invited to come along. Let's get started and head to check-in. We arrived at the airport more than 6 hours before our scheduled departure. Unlike most other airports where check-in only opens about 3 hours before departure, we were pleased to find that China Southern Airlines priority check-in desks were already open. This allowed us to check in early and gave us plenty of time to enjoy the facilities at the lounge. Unlike the economy check-in area where passengers were waiting in long queues, we were assisted immediately at the priority counters and completed check-in in just a few minutes. At the security check, business class passengers also enjoyed priority. So in no time we cleared security and headed straight to China Southern Airlines lounge. When we arrived at the lounge, it was dinner time. We were quite hungry and tired after a long day of travel. We had left my parents' home in Shangtan, a central city in China, at about 9 in the morning. From there, we took a taxi to the nearby city of Changsha to catch the bullet train. The high-speed journey from Changsha to Guangzhou covered more than 700 kilometers. Once arrived, we booked a taxi from the railway station to the airport. After such a long trip, it felt wonderful to enjoy a comforting hot meal in the lounge. There was a fairly good selection of hot dishes, bread, fruit, and desserts. The food was fresh and tasty. My daughters and I had a lovely meal and felt much more energized afterwards. After dinner, we still had more than 4 hours before departure. Fortunately, the lounge offered several facilities that made our stay relaxed and comfortable. While my daughters were having dinner, I went to the reception to book shower and sleeping rooms for us. These were available free of charge on a first-come, first-served basis. Once we finished dinner, we stored our luggage in lockers. Then we headed to the shower area. The shower rooms were spacious, clean, and well equipped with various amenities such as shaving kits, toothbrushes, and hair dryers. It felt wonderful to take a hot shower after such a long day of travel and before a nearly 12-hour night flight. My daughters and I felt refreshed and much more relaxed afterwards. After the shower, we headed to the sleeping rooms. There were 4 in total, each with a comfortable single bed and amenities such as an alarm clock and an air purifier. Taking a nap in such a quiet and comfortable room was really helpful for reducing fatigue and preparing us for a long-haul flight departing after midnight. For us, China Southern Airlines lounge felt almost like a hotel, offering good food, hot showers, and even comfortable sleeping rooms. It added great value to the business class ticket and made the long journey much easier and more enjoyable for all of us. At about 11:30 p.m, we headed to the boarding gate. Although it was nearly midnight, some shops and restaurants in the terminal were still open. So even if you're not flying business class and don't have access to the lounge, you can still find places to eat if you want to. After a walk of about 10 minutes, we arrived at boarding gate. As business class passengers, we had priority boarding and were among the first to board. The aircraft for this flight was an Airbus A350-900. The business class cabin had 28 seats in a 1-to-1 layout, so every passenger had direct access to the aisle. My seat was 5K, located at the very front of the cabin. My daughters sat together in 5E and 5G. After helping us store our luggage, the flight attendants brought us hot towers. Then we were offered welcome drinks, including apple and orange juice and soda water. The flight attendants then handed us the menu and explained the main course choices. 2 meals will be served during this flight. We were asked to choose the main course for both meals before departure, as this would help the cabin crew prepare them more efficiently. I'll explain our menu choices later in this video, but for now, let me first give you a seat tour. In front of the seat, there's an 18-inch in-flight entertainment screen. After takeoff, you can turn it towards you. Under the screen, there's a tray table that you can pull out easily. It feels quite stable and doesn't wobble much. Further down below, there's a footrest and a small storage space with a pair of complimentary slippers. The seat is covered in a leather-like material. I'm not sure if it's real leather, but it feels smooth and quite comfortable. As you can see on the screen, the seat is fairly spacious and offers plenty of legroom. To the left of the seat, there's a storage space with a bottle of water and an amenity kit. I'll show you what's in it later in this video. Next to it, there's a smaller compartment that holds a pair of headphones for the in-flight entertainment system. Above the left armrest, there's a seat control panel. With these buttons, you can adjust the seat in multiple ways to your liking. I'll show you how it can be turned into a live flight bed later in this video. Below the armrest, there's another small storage space. And further down, there's a universal power outlet and a USB-A charging port. All in all, I found the seat comfortable and practical. At about 10 minutes past midnight, we started pushback. My daughters and I could hardly believe that our 5-week summer break in China was over. During our stay, I filmed quite a lot of footage from our visits to Beijing, Guilin, Hong Kong and Macau. After we're back in the Netherlands, I'll edit as many videos as I can about these trips. So stay tuned if you're interested. But for now, let's continue our flight and let me show you what we had for our first meal. Shortly after takeoff, we were given hot towers and some mixed nuts. Then 2 starters were served. A shiitake mushroom stuffed with shrimp paste and a small smoked duck bite on a piece of toast. They were both quite tasty. Next, the flight attendants brought us bread and 2 types of soup. I went for the Chinese-style chicken soup, while my daughters chose the creamy tomato soup. The chicken soup had a clean taste and was very comforting. My daughters enjoyed their tomato soup too. After the soup, we were offered 2 appetizers to choose from. I picked the smoked fish with goose liver, while my daughters went for the smoked duck breast with cuttlefish. I really liked the goose liver. It had a nice creamy texture and was very flavorful. My daughters were happy with their choice too. Then it was time for the main course. Out of the 3 options, I picked the Chinese-style clay pot rice with sausage and cured pork. My daughters prefer meat to fish, so they had the beef with potatoes. I was quite happy with my choice. All the ingredients tasted good and worked very well together. Honestly, I could hardly tell the difference between this and what I've had in some restaurants in China. As to the beef with potatoes, my daughters had different opinions. My older daughter Emily liked it, but my younger daughter Melissa found the beef a bit too hard to chew. I guess that's the thing with food. Everyone has their own preferences. But when it came to the fruit and dessert served after the main course, we all agreed on one thing. They were very good. The fruit was fresh and of good quality. The 3 dessert options were all very good in their own way. For example, the dessert I had was fruity, not overly sweet, and had a nice jelly-like texture which I liked a lot. All in all, we had a very enjoyable meal. After the meal, we took a look at the amenity kit. It came with a few useful items such as an eye mask, a toothbrush and toothpaste, a lip balm, and a small bottle of body lotion. The pouch is made of fabric that feels fairly good in quality. My daughter Emily liked it a lot and is still using it to carry her personal items. Soon after the meal, we all got quite sleepy as it was nearly 3 AM at the place of departure. I pressed this preset button and the seat reclined automatically into a lie flat bed. China Southern Airlines didn't provide a mattress, so the bed was a bit on the firm side. But for my daughters and me, that wasn't an issue at all. We were all very happy to have a bed to sleep in during this long overnight flight. The seat was wide enough for me to lie down comfortably. There was plenty of space for me to fully stretch my legs. With such a comfortable bed, my daughters and I fell asleep in no time. In fact, I slept so well that when I opened my eyes, we had already landed in Amsterdam. I really didn't expect that I would sleep so long. More importantly, I missed breakfast and wasn't able to do a full flight review. That made me feel really bad. I wish I had not overslept and could turn back time. While I was regretting oversleeping, I opened my eyes and to my surprise, I saw the fasten seatbelt sign glowing in the dark. I looked around. It was still dark and the cabin was quiet. Oh, thank goodness! It was just a dream! I don't know about you, but sometimes when I really want to do something well, I have these funny dreams where things go all wrong, only to wake up and realize nothing actually happened and I still have the chance to get it right. And as I really wanted to give you a full flight review including the breakfast, let me show you just that now. About 2.5 hours before landing, breakfast was served. Somewhat surprisingly, they served fresh fruit and dessert before the main dish along with the yogurt. I guess they did this to save time. I started with the yogurt, which was fresh and tasted good. Then I moved on to the mango and pomelo sweet soup. I really liked this dessert. It had a slightly sticky texture and a nice mango flavor. While I was enjoying the sweet soup, the flight attendants came around with various types of bread. I picked a croissant, which was warm, flaky and fresh. Then it was time for the main course, for which there were 3 options. I went for the beef noodles and it turned out to be the best dish I had on this whole flight. It was nicely presented and honestly, if I were doing a blind test, I wouldn't be able to tell it was airplane food. The broth was warm and flavorful. What impressed me even more was the noodles. They had a nice chewy texture and tasted surprisingly fresh. It was really comforting to have such a bowl of warm noodles towards the end of a long overnight flight. For the other 2 options, my elder daughter Emily picked the congee with various dim sum items. It was a typical Chinese breakfast and she found it comforting and tasty. My younger daughter Melissa chose the Western option, chicken sausage with vegetables, and she liked it too. So overall, the breakfast was satisfying and we were all happy with our meals. Comparing this flight with my business class trip the other way around last year, I'd say the catering quality was equally good. By now you may be wondering how much we paid for all this. I booked our return tickets through the official website of China Southern Airlines about 4 months in advance. We flew from Amsterdam to Guangzhou in premium economy and came back in business class. For this round trip, we paid nearly 6,700 euros for the 3 of us. It was of course much more expensive than economy, but all things considered, we do think the upgrade was worthwhile, especially the return flight from Guangzhou. We departed after midnight in the dark and arrived before dawn, also in the dark. Being able to rest in the lounge before departure and then sleep in a lie-flat bed on the plane really helped us cope with this nearly 12-hour overnight flight. So all in all, the first business class flight of my daughters turned out to be a very pleasant experience. A big shout out to the cabin crew who worked so diligent during this overnight flight, and many thanks to you for watching until the end. Safe travels and see you next time!